we left any pet ties in?
No.
Anymore?
At Autobahn, we're all for the drivers. For car carers, there's 30% off Mother's Car Care range. For rev heads, Accelerate Rewards members save 30% off this Penrose HPR 10 engine oil. Autobahn.
Hey. Drivers, mate. We are for the drivers. Izzy? Can you do me 2 favors, please? Can you come here? I will tell you what those are, please. Drivers, mate. We are for the drivers. Sometimes. How are you going, bud? Can you do me 2 favors, please? Yes? Bring me a glass, please, and close my door, please. Love you.
A glass of what?
A glass.
Just a glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
You the best, kiddo. Yeah, I know that you do, but I still tell you. Alright, folks, what are we doing today? Game analysis. Wouldn't that be epic if we did some game analysis? Oh, I think we are going to do some game analysis.
Hey everyone.
Oh, Belgian novice, the world record holder for the longest run of subscription, 77 months. What an absolute legendario human. Beautiful.
Is this good?
That is perfect, my love.
Yeah, just like me.
You are still my favorite daughter.
Yeah.
Izzy, have you read the book?
Lion.
Yeah. Would be very happy to see you around page 150 by the time I'm done. Close the door, please. Close that door, please. Thank you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Do my kids play chess? I only have one child. And I did my absolute best to keep her out of this game. And I succeeded so far. So I hope that it remains so. 1 chess nutter per family is a very important rule of thumb that I'm a big believer of. I don't judge anyone who doesn't live by that rule. That is my rule, and that's what I live by, and it has worked for me. Mr. Ayushman, welcome in. Welcome in. So, today we are going to fittingly start our lesson with a Johnny Nunny game where his opponent is a dude called Danny Kopec. And the opening is going to be the Richter Rouser. Learn chess with Pranay. Welcome. I don't know what I'm getting a good job for, but thank you. Okay, what are the 2 main moves here for white? Ladies, what are the 2 main moves here for white? F3 is certainly one of the moves. Yes, that is correct. That is absolutely correct. And F4 is the other one. Daddy being a bad dad, ignoring his son. Sorry to Shenzug, my son. I forgot about you. No, King B1 is not top priority. He playable. F3 or F4. These are the 2 main moves. Our friend Nunn, he played F3. There is a reason, of course, why the English attack in the Sicilian is called the English attack. And that reason is because it was mostly first employed and played a lot by a whole bunch of English grandmasters, in particular John Nunn, Nigel Short. They were definitely the two most prominent ones, and a few others as well. Hence the name, the English attack. And since this variation, especially the bishop d7 one, can easily be turned into something that looks a lot like a knight off. Here, the English attack setup makes sense too. And the reason why I highlighted the bishop on d7, because after g4, g5, the knight can drop back to its most natural square, which is d7. Mr. Pranay, hey. So f3 played, knight d4 played, queen d4 played, b5 played. And here, Nunn played something very, very surprising, in my opinion. He completely changed the course of the game and went with f4. Hang on, I've got a good friend who is currently on a date, and I will just tell him that perhaps they want to watch me as a potential idea as to what to do. All right. Brexit variation. Yes, that's right. All right. So f4. Hello, Nisha Pandi. Welcome back. f4 played, bishop e7, and now we need to go and turn on the aggro. How do we do that? Let's go, humans. G4, interesting idea. I definitely give that to you. My problem with G4 is that I'm not sure what the follow-up move wants to be after that. Let's say, for argument's sake, I play Queen C7. How would you proceed? Hello, Chris. Maybe take. Take and then G5. Then I have Queen C5, no? Yeah, I'm not quite sold on this. So G4, I was thinking Queen C7. And if you take, I could take back like this. And if G5, I could go Queen C5. And I come just on time to take this thing out of this attack. British champs. I didn't know that it was on. I did not know that the British champs was on. But I know that's the best move. No, it's not. No, it is not. The best move is what was played in the game, which is E5. Take played, knight D5. What do we do now? Six Day, thank you for the follow, friend. Welcome in. How's it going? Knight takes d5 here would be a very, very unfortunate mistake. Almost blunder. Yeah, Chris, actually I have seen some games being referenced on various social media now that you mentioned it, I remember. Yeah. I have seen some of that stuff. Oh! I forgot to add my... Oh, yeah. Wait a second, guys. We've got something important to do.
Come on your bike.
She's back! Ah, that is so good. That is so good. Ah, yeah. Yes, that's right. If we take knight, then bishop takes back, and we are in a world of hurt. So yes, we need to take the bishop first, of course.
Show me the money!
Oh, yep. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just checking out the audios that I'm adding to my stream deck. Yeah, so bishop takes e7 played. Knight takes e7 played. What do we do now? So just for the record, after knight takes d5, bishop g5 check, we are in all kinds of trouble, because if we move the king, we lose a piece. If we blockade the check, then after bishop c6, all of a sudden a queen trade is on the cards, and that is the greatest swear word from white's perspective in this position. This is what we really don't want. This is how we lose games in the rouser. So bishop takes bishop was played, knight takes played, and now it's white to move again, and I'm going to play 2 more audios. I apologize for that in advance. 3 actually. Yep.
The guy is so...
Where's the Matutski? The Matutski is actually... I never had that audio because originally it comes from a very good friend who goes by the name of Maurice Ashley, and I don't want to steal his stuff. Okay, so what is our move now, folks? Let's go. Very obvious next move. If you have watched my YouTube video yesterday, you would know what to do here. If you haven't watched my YouTube videos, you should stand in the corner quietly for 5 minutes. Why e2 and not d3? Actually, knight e4 is second best. Knight e4 is second best. The only reason I dislike knight e4 is because it's very obviously met by knight f5. And that does not look good. Can we get away with knight b5? Wait, what? Knight b5. Hello? Isn't that like hanging from 47 different angles? For free? What is your plan there, young man? Or lady? Yeah, I don't think that you meant that. G4 is alright-ish, I suppose, but I don't like it because it walks into bishop c6, and again, the queen trade is on the menu. There is a more natural way to deal with the knight f5 problem. Nah, I don't like g4. I don't like g4. It's too many weaknesses, too little benefit. Knight e4, knight f5, queen f2. Yeah, you can play it. It's castles, g4. I drop back, but I don't know if we have enough oomph here to generate an attack. I definitely would prefer to be white here, but it's not much better. Simple chess friends. See, this is what I'm talking about that in the video that I made yesterday. That even here, the most natural move was not recommended except by one person, who is Bailu. Like, one piece not developed, most natural square, d3. Hello? Like, this is it. This is good chess. That you realize that there is one guy not playing, and you put it on the best square. Lifetime easy, I just play knight d5 and I block off the d file. Ed Swede. I'll show you because it was a valid question. You go here, I just go here. And black is already slightly better because I'm threatening this on occasion after bishop c6. So yeah, you need to be very careful here. Right, bishop d3. Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. Bring all the boys to the party. Hello, Javar, man. Good to have you. Mr. Chess, currently, which you might have already figured out, I'm not playing. So yeah, bishop d3 played. Queen c7 played. And now the question needs to be asked again. What do we do? What do we do? Good moves, please. Good moves only. Yeah, chess is mean. Sorry, Ayushman, I didn't see that you said it too. It is just too hard to read two chats at once. Knight e4 now. What's the difference? What is the difference? Looks like knight f5 is on again. What is the difference? It is correct. But what's the difference? Knight d6. You sure about that? Knight d6 check. I take. You didn't see that one coming, did you? You have to take like so. Take bishop c6. Who is better here and why? Quick evaluation. All the secret moves. So, who is better here? Black is much better here. Much better. This pawn is weak. This is weak. This bishop is better than this guy here. King is very well placed in the center. Yeah, we do not want this. What do we want instead? I think Mr. Ayushman already said it. Nah, Queen c5 is another move that we would definitely want to avoid. Endgames in general, we do not want. We want middle game where our better developed and better coordinated pieces can shine. So Queen c5, take, Bishop c6, and again, we're not happy here. There are two very good moves for white here. One of them is Queen b4 to cut out castles. And the other one is Queen f2. As per played in the game. Hello, Cookie. How are you going, buddy? Holistic, how are you? Yes, that's right. Queen b4 would have been met by a5. Although how annoying that is up for debate. You can slide back to d2 and then going out to g5 is actually very, very convenient. According to the engine, this is better than Queen f2 that was played in the game. Not by much, mind you. Now, Queen e5, of course, was what Nunn wanted to provoke. But why did this mad lad want to provoke this? And by the way, here, white blundered again. Thank you, Holistic. If you really want to help me, please leave a comment on each of them too. Comments are super important. Knight c5, possible. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Artimonsta. No, we cannot play bullet. Part of the reason for that, Isaac, is because I'm not playing, which you might have observed already. Let me help you out. The game move was g4, which is 0.4. The best move gives white 2.7. The reason why it sucks for Nunn is because he had the same idea, he just chose the wrong order. That's what he did. He played g4 followed by rook e1. That's exactly what he did. And it turns out that rook e1 is the correct order. So we need to ask the question why. And in order to understand that question, we need to look at what happens after g4. After g4, black has knight e7. Knight is en route to d5. And now after rook e1, black can castle. And as unfortunate as it may sound, we don't have a good jump away with the knight. This one and then take, and then bishop h7 winning the queen would be nice. But after he, black has check. And then bishop c6 and black is better. So, why is rook e1 better? What can we do here after castles that makes this scenario a lot better for us? G5 is illegal, friend. Artimonsta, you are correct. So now knight c5 is very clever because black doesn't have the check. That's the key idea. And now if I go back home, then after take, bishop f5 wins the piece. That is so smart. So thus rook e1 rules out castles. Right? Now what do we do after queen c7? It is still very important that we get this right. G4, okay. And what do we do after knight e7? Knight c5, I don't think so. Knight c5 is meant by bishop c6, no? Knight g5 is better, but knight g5 f6 is still not quite as clear as I would like it to be. No one has said the correct move yet. Even though the correct idea has been spoken, which was the airstrike the black king. Please do that. That is exactly how we roll. We airstrike the king. But how? It's not now g5. Ayushman found it. Bishop b5. That's the very unexpected airstrike. This is it. And it's carnage. Absolute, utter demolition. The idea is that if black takes back, then we have got 96 check. They can't go to f8 because we have got mate. They go to d8. We go check and we pick up the rook. At the absolute least. Yeah. That is the purpose of starting with rook e1. So g4 was actually a blunder. I'm glad you liked it, James. Knight went back to h6, also blunder. So they needed to go back to e7 here. Formula, welcome in. Welcome in, buddy. Yeah, every now and then I turn on the stream for the European fellers. You deserve to see me. This would have been much better. Now the game is unclear. After knight h6, we are back to Carnage City. What should we do? How does one defend against knight c5 instead of g5? I don't understand the question. First of all, I can trade here. Oh, I do understand the question, I think. You wanted to use some rook e1 and then win the piece on f5 business, right? So for example, if I were to go here, you would have gone rook e1 and win the piece. Is that what you wanted? I take it as a yes. So, the answer to your question is this. After knight c5, black has this. And that's a very, very, very depressing move to face. By dubs, if you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel yet, please do yourself a favor and click that button now. Very aggressively. Right, so g4 played, knight h6 played, and I want the best move for white, please. Plezinho. What's happening now? g5 is possible, second best. What is best? h3, come on, Chimeric. That is absolutely unacceptable. Defending a dirty pawn in the middle of a vicious attack, you should have never ever thought about this move. That is not an option. That is a crime. Try again. Rook e1. That is a chess move, boys. Bring all the boys to the party. In yesterday's video, a fair few people told me that, but my opponents never played this badly. Yes, they do. You just don't find the right moves to punish them. That's exactly it. That was your cup of impression. My apologies. I thought it was your own idea, but I'm glad to see that that was just for jokesies. Okay, how does castle lose? Give me a forcing line to prove that castles is not playable. Very good. G5 and knight f6 wins the queen. So they opted to play bishop c6 here. What's wrong with this move? There are a lot of things wrong with them, but one would be good enough for me to be convinced. Yeah, that's it, baby. Bishop takes b5. What makes this even more beautiful now that the queen can take the bishop too, but that still keeps the queen in a knight fork distance. And so there is no good capture here to be played. Bishop takes here is illegal. Bishop takes loses the queen. Queen c7 was played in the game. But after knight d6 check, the only option for black was to resign. Can anyone find the correct move here for white? There are two of them. No, and no. Okay. That's a double no if I've ever seen one. Queen takes Queen c5 looks cute. Yes, it does, doesn't it? It does. And after takes, how do we win this now, like, guys? Oops. Did we make a mistake, perhaps? Or are we still good? Smothered mate. If you find a smothered mate from this position, Ayushman, I'm going to give you a chess Nobel Prize. Because I don't know how you see the smothered mate with this queen covering e7. So check and check is correct. But after here, instead of dreaming about a non-existent smothered mate, unfortunately, you just have to win the queen. And that will do. GG. G to the G is the GG, and we have a new friend whose name is Mussy Lol. Welcome in, brother. What brought you to us today? Other than my irresistible good looks. No, it's not an ideal-ish one because it's not doable here, so that disqualifies it from being an idea. Okay, on to the next game, ladies. On to the next game, and this is going to be no less impressive, especially if you look at our warriors entering the arena. Mr. Let's Begin the Process versus Joël Loier. Once upon a time, the best French GM. ATZJ, you found me through Nelson. That's awesome, man. Welcome on board. I'm super happy to have you here. Please don't forget to smack that subscribe button on YouTube, like our life depended on it. And I happen to have a recent YouTube video which I uploaded this morning that enjoys a bit of a surprising popularity because it's a very good one. And we are actually piggybacking on that video now in exploring more of these short victories by great players. Hello, Hex. Hello, hello. Funny how this development thing works when you observe great players, right? Like, they can't help themselves. They do the right thing, which you are told every time by your coach to do as well. Look at that. Mr. Kramnik, Mr. Let's Begin the Process. Mr. I'll catch you no matter whether you're a cheater or not. Plays 10 moves of chess and he has got every single dude out. Okay then, 2780. Okay, dokie. Knight d7. Rook to d1. Keeps on developing this dude. Can anyone tell me, by the way, why you think he plays this move? And think deeply. The answer is not the obvious. Savos Neuro. Yeah, but what's really interesting, holistic, is that Kramnik never had these theories when he was an active OTB player. It only came up later. I mean, barring the toilet gate with Topalov, but that started off with Topalov losing the plot. So, yeah. A rook in front of queen. I don't necessarily know what you mean by that. Do you mean a rook on the same file with the enemy queen? Is that what you're suggesting? Protect d4 so we can do an e4 push. ATZ, I'm very glad that you are engaging right after you tuned in. However, I would like to immediately challenge you on account of you being brave enough to speak your mind. Do we need a rook on d1 to play e4? If he wanted to play e4, he should have played it right here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to the legend himself, Buddy Thompson, long-time supporter of the channels, and right now also a very observant chess player, because Buddy says the purpose of rook d1 is to pull the bishop back here so that we can set up this battery. And guess what? Buddy is correct. Lethal, indeed, indeed. Queen e7 played. Bishop b1 played. e5 played. And castles played. It's too soon to play queen d3 here. Because after g6, I guess we are now facing the problem of e d4 with the pin. So it makes more sense to me to castle and float various threats and ideas. Now black can't play g6 because it would hang, I thought. But I'm actually wrong. After g6, bishop takes g6 is a tactical blunder. Why? How does this make any sense? How does it not make sense? That is the question we need to ask here, Mr. Ayushman. How does it not make sense? No, the battery is still there, but you want to keep it for the best time. Now, my question was, why is bishop captures here a bad blunder? Yeah, it is making very good sense. Correct, Grizzly. So bishop takes knight b6, and we are going to be denied off of the diagonal, which means we lose a piece. Very good. Formula, I think you were here when we discussed the point of the move rook d1. Oh, you're asking why not to c2? Because it just doesn't feel right. That is the best way I can tell you why not, is that it just doesn't feel right. It feels wrong to put it here. But I will give you a more practical explanation as well. Because at times you want to utilize the c file, and the bishop would be in the way. Likewise, at times, black wants to break with c5 take and then put rooks on the c file, and again the bishop on c2 would be awkwardly targeted. I hope that makes sense. Right, so e5 castles, ed. What do we take back with? Knight or pawn, and why? I will guarantee you that at least half of the chat is going to get this wrong. Well, wrong in the sense that they will have a rationalization which is completely invalid. It always makes me upset. Okay, so far I have got 3 people voting for the pawn and 0 votes for knight. Wow, 5 people for the pawn. 6. That is so beautiful, guys. Music to my ears and heart. That finally we are willing to embrace the IQP, as we should. Thank you, Formula. That is the correct take. That is the correct take. Because this retains some space advantage in the center, in that the knight is denied both of these squares. Super important that this can't go to either. We are going to now obtain the e file with the tempo, and we're good with the queen. Yes, this tells me that the people who have responded to the question, they are watching my videos or other people's videos where they talk sensible things about isolated pawns, as opposed to the red hot garbage of, ooh, isolated pawn is bad for you. No, it's not. Okay, knight b6 played. Queen d3 played, obviously. G6 played, also obviously. White to move. What do we do? What do we do? Rook e1, rook e1, rook e1, rook e1. You guys are very well trained. Rook e1. This is what my latest video is all about. What do absolute top professionals do the best? The basics. Get all your pieces into the game. Marvelous chess. Queen b4. Queen d2. And here, Loier dropped the ball, falling for the temptation of knight c4. What is wrong with this biz? Well, obviously, everyone sees that the pawn is hanging on h6, but then knight takes b2 hangs rook and knight. So, this is this funny thing that is called calculation. Like, you can't say that this is bad because of h6 hanging. Hello? You are looking at a grandmaster of 26-25 who used to be 2700. Do we really think that they blundered h6? Like, we need to give a tiny bit more credit to the players than go like, ah, he's an idiot, he blundered h6. No, he did not blunder h6. No, it's much more likely that pigs would fall from the sky than a 26-25 blundering queen h6. No. What they blundered is a lot more complicated and a lot more complex and beautiful. Pawn b3 would be a very subtle way to sack a queen. I don't recommend. So, after queen h6, knight b2. What is going on here that might make us a little bit more excited than usual to engage with this variation? Yeah. Well done moves. Actually, Kramnik blundered mate in 1-2. The funny thing is that White has got more than one ways to get this party seriously started. Formula, very good. 94 is outstanding. This is outstanding, but here you need to see an absolutely ridiculous idea, which, with all due respect, I'm not sure you did see. And that is White's winning move here, which I'm not going to reveal because it's going to be quite similar in the game. So let's look for plan B against knight b2. Ayushman wants rook e5, which looks very cool, but it does very little, because I'm not forced to take it. I can just kick you in the face, and then you are not a happy camper. So let's not do that. Cute idea, though, especially because he wanted to play rook h5, which is a motive that I would like you to observe, that this exists as an idea. It's not a good one, because even after this, rook e8 wins for black. But the rook itself can't be captured because of mate. Anyway, rook e5, not the move. We need a better one. By the way, for the first time in history, I have got more viewers on YouTube than on Twitch. I don't know if I should be upset or happy about that. Yeah, let's go YouTube, exactly. Okay, now we are talking bizzo. Now we are talking bizzo. So what we need to note is, Melanie. Melanie, are you actually a lady, or you are just hiding behind a female name? You are talking some awesome stuff right there. Good stuff, lady. So takes, and this is where it gets really dicey. Because next move might already be a blunder for white. There's only one good move here available for white. One. Be sure you find that one move. That was Mate. Sorry guys, I had to greet my fellow Hungarian. Here we go. Aaron is cool. That is definitely sorry, I stand corrected. Aaron is cool. And so is Balake. Balake, Aaron. These people are absolutely fabulous humans. Oh, you're not playing too well. That's unpleasant, Mr. Mati, but I'm sure you will bounce back. Either Queen G6 or Knight G5. One of them is a blunder, the other one is the best move on the board. Who is who? No one picked up on the reference of Balaki and Aaron, by the way? Oh, Aaron did. That's where his name is from. You are well-educated humans. I'm very proud of you. Where is Jake Wallin at? Any Jake Wallin? Ah, tactics, you found it. So this loses to bishop g7 because after knight g5, bishop f5, there is no mate to be had. Exactly. Well done, Jake Wallin. So, knight g5. Now, who can give me a conclusive line after bishop takes? Jake Wallin or Aaron? D-nice. Harry is coming in strong. Very, very good. Excellent stuff there, Harry. Well done. So the first thing that you need to see is that you can check down the bishop by not taking it, but checking here. And only after king g7 do you take. And with this, we managed to strip the king completely naked of defenders. And there are multiple moves here available that win for white. I just want one. Please do not blunder. Come on, guys. Rook e7 would be a mate in 1. Like, how can you type that in? That's mate, except it's hanging. Hello? Like, Jesus. Let's not ruin it now, shall we? So yeah, rook lifts win. Let's see if we can find a mate. My Wheaties this morning. Yeah, clearly, Aaron, you might have to go to Mr. O'Shag Hennessy's office if you continue like that. So please have those Wheaties. Sebastian Duidi, welcome in, brother. Melanie, that depends on how much time you have to study things. It also depends on your playing strength. It depends on a lot of times. In the club players opening repertoire in my chessable course, I recommend the Alapin because it's easier to learn and it's a lot less theory. You can check it out on the link that is about to pop in the chat. Do I think that the Mora is sound? No. I know that the Mora is not sound. It's not a matter of think. It's no. And no, it's not. The rest is more up for debate. But no, it's definitely not sound. I mean, define sound, right? Like, you're definitely not going to get an advantage. Like, not even close. And likely, in most variations, you are going to be worse with white, at least slightly. So, I think that defines unsound pretty well. Yeah, just queen f4 check, and then we have got a ladder mate. Right, well, if you are interested in the open Sicilians, that's definitely the right progression. So I very highly recommend you to do that if you feel like you have qualified from, or rather graduated is the word I was after. Is it worth studying? You just said that you had my course, so you have already studied it, right? The king can move toward the... you mean here? Well, that's not gonna do much. Yeah, ATZ, it's not gonna help, buddy. You are that's literally like the same as running toward a machine gun. Like, nah, not gonna cut it, friend. Not gonna cut it. You can choose between a mate in 1 or a mate in 2. I agree with that. Well, the Sicilian in particular is a very tough nut to crack. And the Rosolimo might have some more complex positions here and there. That's a fair comment. Yeah, Mr. Kramnik made it look rather easy, right? Dude seems to know a thing or two about chess. If he had half the knowledge of catching cheaters that he applies in chess, we would be so much better off. However, not only does he not have that knowledge, he actually positively sucks at recognizing cheaters. Or what contributes to suspicious play. Which is quite surprising, by the way, given his level of understanding the game. Anyway. I am looking for the next game. Yeah, and to be fair, an FM actually cannot outplay him, like not as a regular occurrence, but every now and then you lose blitz games to far inferior players. And trust me when I tell you this first-hand experience, if you tend to have an ego, it's very difficult to take that. It is very difficult to swallow that. AT said that there was no difference whatsoever. Like, the lines would have been absolutely identical in either case. So it did not have to. It did because it made no difference. Okay, let's go into this one. I haven't had a good look at this game, so it might not be living up perfectly to the expectations, but I think it's not going to let us down. Boris Afro against Scripchenko Almira. Ironically, Scripchenko Almira, what a coincidence, wow. She was the wife of Jean Loier, who was the black player in the previous game we looked at. Victor, yes, I have a tip for you. You get my Chessable course, and ta-da, there is your repertoire. You don't have to build it, I built it for you. Easy peasy, problem solved. Anything else I can do for you? You are most welcome. Look for the club players 1e4. because I'm feeling super generous, Mr. Victor, here is for you the direct link. Okay, let's go. I don't know, Ayushman, what that memorizing all lines was a reference to, but I will let it slide. This guy is developing pieces, my god. Where did he get that idea from? This is crazy. He's playing good chess. Wow. Alright, folks, we are white. Now what do we do? Let's go. Bishop takes f7. Holy Moses. Harry, what have you been drinking or smoking? Victor, according to Formula 14, my e4 repertoire chessable is great. There you go. Right, bishop g5, of course. No, Onivodul. Castles is an absolute royal sinister crime here. Because we want to castle this way, brother. Are you watching my YouTube videos? Are you watching? Everyone who says castles, give a gentle slap of yourself on the face and reflect on why you are not watching my YouTube videos. Folks, we want this way, not this way. Because the D file is open. Please do not embarrass yourself with this move. This is completely unacceptable. And I'm being serious. Like, you want here so that your rook is on the file. This is why it hurts me that people don't watch my videos. Okay, d5. What do we do now? Not all of them. Well, this came up in the last 30 videos for sure. Definitely castles here because that's what we do. This is what good chess looks. Oh la la. Looks like. Sometimes I click on shit, I don't even know what it is. Alright. Bishop b7 played. By the way, black hasn't made a losing mistake yet, so let's go. WTM. White to move. What do we do? Yeah, exactly. I'm showing you so much good chess, it's like the Matrix. By the way, guys, after some very, very seriously long time, I finally got around organizing my merch. So within about 2 weeks, you are going to have early access to some very cool merch. Ain't that exciting? Rook HD1 is a little bit illegal. Rook HE1 is a great move. In which case we have to reckon with Bishop E6. Afro instead opted for Queen H4. which ironically should also be met by bishop e6, but instead knight d7 was played. This is the first move that I dislike by Scripchenko. Yeah, now rook e1 is a no-brainer. Very, very good. However, you need to tell me, folks, what's happening against this move here. Because it's really not that obvious, is it? Exclam question mark means an interesting move, which is not necessarily best, but it's not terrible either. Rook e7 is very, very interesting. I didn't see this at all, but unfortunately, and the engine reckons is brilliant. At this point, black has an interesting defensive idea. Apparently I drank too much because I desperately need to pee. So 95 is possible here, guys. 95. And after rook e5 we are even losing due to bishop e6. And probably 95, bishop e6, f4, maybe something like h6. And it's a mess. It's a mess. Mihailovich, welcome in. No, the engine thinks that the better move here is bishop takes, when neither of these can recapture. And now queen h6 with the idea of cutting out castling and also penetrating on g7. And now also there is a plan of mating here, which doesn't look bad. Okay. Game continuation. Bishop takes, takes, knight e4. It's funny, huh? Well, yeah, the exclam mark here is not from the engine. It's actually an inferior move to queen h6. Because now black can castle. In fact, according to the engine, it's a mistake. And queen h6 is to be preferred. It's very funny when you load up games with all the annotations, and all the annotations are wrong. Okay, castles. Yes, exactly, Aaron. That's correct. Knight g3. We're going after the king still. King h8, and this is the losing move. What do we do? What do we do?
Right, just
Rook e7 says Ayushman, but he doesn't tell me what he wants to do after queen takes back. Which is quite upsetting. That he's so secretive. Yeah, I don't understand rook e7. Can't I just take it? Yeah, I don't get this guy. Like, rook takes, queen takes, knight f5. I can just go here, no? Like, what's the story here? Queen g4, rook g8. We're down a rook and we haven't fired a shot yet. So let's not get carried away. Yeah, Jasmonton is of course correct. Like knight f5. Hitting the bishop. Viraj! Welcome in, brother. What do we do now, ladies? What do we do now? Pompous Chesses says, let's go queen h6. You want to play against me? That, my friend, I will take as a compliment. It's very kind and generous of you. In fact, flattering. I hate to break this to you. It's not going to happen today. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm not going to play against anybody else either who is currently watching. Right, so a rook e4 or queen h6. One of them is very good, the other one is very bad. Who is who? Hey Aaron, I'm glad you found that funny. Rook e4 is the correct move. Queen h6 in contrast just forces rook g8. Not good. Rook e4, very good. The idea being, let's say I play a pass move, yeah? Now queen h6 and now rook h4. And the Matutsky on h7 can only be avoided at the cost of losing a queen. Hence rook e4. Actually, our good friend Afro missed this and he played queen h5 with the same idea, but this was inaccurate for sure. c3 played. Do we take or do we push? Oh, Mr. Casual Dad in the house. Yeah, so the correct answer, of course, is that it's neither, because why would you react to some BS like that? You just play rook e4, because that has been our plan all along. Queen b6. b3, obviously. What do we do now? Well, 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 that was my dirty trick. I'm sorry. Oh, Imre! Adj Isten, Imre bátyja! I've got 2 Hungarians in the house now. That's awesome. Queen f7 played. Unfortunately, this is not quite mate, which is very depressing because I would have loved this to be a mate. But after check here and g4, black has various ways to deal with the drama. Bishop f8, rook h5, that's the mate threat. What's the defense that reigns on our parade? Which is very, very obnoxious. Hungary takes over. Yeah. Yeah. If only. If only my beautiful country could do that. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, well done, Jess. Queen takes f2 is a tremendous party pooper. Absolutely tremendous. And after knight h4, now we don't have mate. And we even have to be very happy that we have a perpetual check. So, hence, queen h7, no bueno. Instead, queen f7, let's keep it clean. Threat is rook h4, among other things. Queen a5 played. And now I need a really neat finish, if I may ask for one, please. Someone is getting mated here. And that's good news. Rook h4 and then we get mated. That is unfortunately correct. Now I prefer if it's the opponent who gets mated. Knife party tells me to play rook a4. Depressingly, after bishop a3 check, king b1 and queen takes f5, again, it's not us who is now celebrating glory, fame and victory. Queen f6 is hilarious. Rook e8 is even better because it's completely illegal for both. Well, I mean, it's right to move, so I don't. Oh, sorry. I was going to roast and then I got roasted. No, rook e8 is very legal. It just gets mated. So, what is the actual play here, guys? Maybe our new friend I3 Bruce Wayne will tell us. Nah. A4 loses again to check, followed by queen f5. Tapiosa is correct. Everyone is correct who says rook d7 because this move does 2 things. It vacates the d1 square for the king so we don't get mated, and 2, it creates a mate threat. A4 doesn't win a tempo, A4 loses the game. Actually, A4 is the epitome of losing a tempo, not winning one, because it's a meaningless move that doesn't contribute anything to anything here, and it allows black a check followed by queen f5, yeah? So that does not win a tempo, it loses one. This is a tempo win, because the primary purpose of this move is to vacate the d1 square, but it happens to eliminate the defender, so we are threatening with mate. That's the definition of a tempo, my friend. Check. King b1, of course. Not queen d1, when after queen f5 again we cry ourselves to sleep. But king b1, because now we have got something very delicious to play. What is it? While you're thinking, I will duck out to the loo. Be right back. Okay, let me see. Let me see the sea. Have we got it? Rook E8 is YouTube. Oh boy, Twitch is completely going a loose cannon. Yeah, Rook E8 is the move, guys. Rook E8 with a myriad of checkmate threats. Rook H4 is, I don't know what it is even trying to be, right? So Rook E8. And now the only way to stop the mate on the back rank is to bring the queen back. But now the queen is guarding too many things. So take his mate. Barna villám, beszarok. Támadnak a magyarok. That meant, guys, I am crapping myself. Hungarian invasion is incoming, and I'm so happy about that. Greetings, Mr. Villam. Which means lightning bolt or lightning strike in Hungarian. Alrighty. Uno más, por favor, says chat. Chat wants one more game at least. To celebrate the beauty of chess. And the beauty of the streamer. Greetings to Hungary, the lone soldier of Europe. Yeah. I shall refrain from commenting. I shall refrain. On Queen takes G8, my good friend, is where the mate is. I thought that we discussed this, didn't we, Matutski? Maybe I didn't cover that one. Germany exists. Yeah, that I don't know if that is. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was butt ugly. I'm looking for one more game. Hello. This game, ladies, this is gonna absolutely shred. Are you ready? Are you ready, humans? Little Nida, we are analyzing chess games. And by the way, for those of you who are interested in such endeavors, which is every single one of you, tomorrow morning Australia time, so in about 14 hours time, I'm going to have a collab with Blood Queen, who also is known by her actual name, Anushka. And she's a lovely lady, and I have absolutely no idea what we are going to do, but I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. Alright, so I just hyped up this game like mad, so let's go. Tkachev against Sadvakasov. The opening is the Queen's Gambit accepted. And White is playing a reasonably high T line against it. Reasonably. Now we are turning it very, very high T with the next move. OMG! Do I love the next move. Mate comes in with e4, sacrificing every single central pawn. Like a freaking legend he is. Well done. e4. Best move. Now black can take d4 and be a pawn up, or take e4 and be a pawn up. Now taking e4 is absolutely tragic. Knight takes, bish takes, rook e1, bish d5 is more or less only. Oh, AA Ron, I'm having a collaboration with the Blood Queen, who is a very, very attractive lady. So, if you think that you don't want to watch my stream because I'm ugly, then that's a bit of a countermeasure there. There you go. She's also a very decent chess player, so lots of fun will be had. Now g5, I think gets captured, and then bishop e7. I'm not a fan. Something more is better is required. No. We will figure it out, Mate. I didn't say that, you know, we're just going to stare at the screen and go like, well, I don't know. No. We will figure it out, my friend. That part was never in doubt. Not once in my life did I have that sort of trouble. Yes, that's right. So if you go further back with the bishop instead of d5, then you are very likely inviting catastrophic damage here. Also, it allows the simplistic d5 to absolutely murder you here, courtesy of the pin. So bishop d5 is only. And since no one said it, I will. Bishop g5 is your move. You want to stretch the defense. Bishop e7, bishop e7. And now they can't take with the queen because that's on. They can take this. But now after takes, black is in trouble. If king takes, you simply take c5. Recuperate the material. King is stuck. If they do that, then d5. And black is cooked. So this is why the e4 pawn is not capturable. And this is why they took the d4 pawn. Now let's continue the high T chess. RKI Barna. Hungarians, guys, they are flooding us today like there was no tomorrow. Bloody awesome. Sevos Batya. E5. E5 it is. E5 is the name of the game because it's either high T chess or we might as well just go home. Knight D7 and let's proceed with the high T chess. Oh, Kasparov pawn. Someone is getting my courses. So what now? Sledgehammer, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. A lethal loan dares to say the words knight and cn4 in the same sentence. Knight c4 covering e5, eyeing all those delicious dark squares. Happy days. Bishop e7. Knight captures d4. Beautiful central arrangement. Knight c5, and now I need a very good high T move for white again. High T move, please. Well done, Jasmonton on Twitch. Well done, Ayushman on YouTube for queen to g4. This is always your go-to when g7 is vulnerable, especially when we have the Kasparov pawn and there is no knight popping on f6. Obviously now black can't castle because that would cost an exchange. There was a beautiful game, which I didn't even intend to show you, that went like this. King f8, rook d1, queen c7, bishop g5, h5, queen f4, trade, knight c6, tuck, tuck, and watch this next move. Tuck. Ouch! Now that is some emotional damage and then some. Hi, yi. This was a game, by the way, played in Hungary in 1997. For all my Hungarian friends in the chat. It was in the Kopec Grandmaster Invitational. Kopec is a beautiful, very, very tiny town in Hungary with a medieval castle. So the idea is that here apparently we have got problems with holding the mate. Which is check and mate. Rook e8 only, and you can see here the crusher. What's the move that is going to wreck? Nice one, Mate. I don't see what 97 is threatening with knife body. I don't think you do. Nah, rook e7 loses to queen c6. Oh, queen e7. No, there is no mate, buddy. Like, I just dropped the rook back. No, that loses to everything. Now if after knight g6 I can just go king g8. Yes, well done, Victor. Queen f4. Mate is unstoppable. Which is why, in this position, black played king here. Unfortunately for them, however, it is now mate in very few if you play the correct move. They played knight g6 check, which is probably the cleanest one because it's checks, but knight c8 is the fastest. Threatening once again mate. Knight g6 was played, which is just as good. Queen e7, king here, and this was the time of resignation. Mate in 2, please. Quick. Knight f8. Very good. If this rook takes mate here, if this rook takes mate here. Excellent job. So, in this game, instead of king f8, black played g6. Obviously, we are playing bishop h6, cutting out castles. They took, we took. Knight d7. Out of curiosity, give me a numeric eval here for the position, please. What do you think the engine calls it? Four, 6. Wow. Knife party says 2-2. Casual dad with 3. Oh, casual dad is watching me now because he's back in the motherland, as in the correct motherland, Europa. It's actually 4.6, 4.0, sorry, 4.06 according to the engine. Having said that, Kachev played here rook e1, which obviously is far less appealing than rook d1. Only God knows what he was thinking when he did that. But, oh no, I'm an idiot. He did do rook d1. And then he played rook e1. Funny how, again, we see a 2600 GM playing chess like we are meant to. Bishop c6, and now it is time to cash in. Time to cash in, ladies. Let's go. Coffee shop, internet still non-existent, I see. Should you be playing the Benoni with black? What kind of answer are you expecting me? Like, should I know who you are? Like, I don't get that question. Because it is either... Should one play the Benoni, which is the general subject to the sentence, or if you're asking you specifically, that presumes I know who you are, which I definitely do not. So unless you tell me a little bit about yourself, I cannot answer your question. Yeah, knight d6 check. Yes, of course. Bishop takes. However, to me, the recapture is not quite clear. I'm curious if the chat is divided whether to take with pawn or rook here. No, chat is not saying anything. So that is a good way to be not divided, but to be unanimous. Unanimous. No, that's complete horseshit. Fundamentally, in my opinion, the Benoni is within the range of playable openings. And if we are starting from FIDE 2700 and you start going down, the further down you go, the more playable it becomes. Yeah, ED was played, and the more I look at it, the more I relate, because this and this. But there is an appeal in my head to the fact that we disallow the queen to come out to f6. So I don't know which one I would play, to be honest. This is how the game went. And this was a dog shit move, my god. Yeah, I would have been worried about queen f6 here a little bit. Or not, worried is not the right word. But I just wasn't sure if I had a win here. Like, I feel like it's probably, if one is more winning than the other, it's likely to be the pawn take. But I feel like rook takes is easier to play. That being said, white has a forced win here. Benoni not for me. I will play the England Gambit. That's when it turns out that you were trolling us all the way. You were basically asking me if I thought that the Toyota Camry was a good car or not. And when I gave you some pros and cons, you went like, well, actually, I have a wheelbarrow. Why am I even asking this question? Wheelbarrow it is. Hello? What? Are you kidding me? Yeah, bishop g5 is a win. And carnage. Take, take. Take, take. Take, take. Check. They played e5 in this position, which gets refuted absolutely gloriously, by the way. The GM missed here the most forcing win, which is rook e5, with the idea that there is no way to defend the knight because the queen is glued to the rook. And f6 is getting mated here. Wow! Wow! But the GM didn't see this and played knight c5, which is just as powerful, by the way. And after queen a5, guys, this is going to be the last tactic of the stream. So you better impress me with some crazy good stuff. Oh, Vice side with a V managed to crack the code. Yes, queen d7, my friends. Yes! Yes! If you are not sacking your queen, are you even playing the game? Hello? Are you even playing the game? Take, check. Now this is mate. And so bishop e6 is only d7 check. You should. You absolutely should. And I'm still contemplating whether I accept the apology. And black resigned here. For the record, 2 lines. King d8. Knight check. Take, take, and you are 70 pieces up. King e7. Check. This is actually gonna be mate. Now if king f8, we have got the Polgar mate with queen takes, check, and mate. And last but not least, if f6, then rook e6, king f7, rook takes. Now king e7 is mate in 1. Yes, they should have played it out, yes. And king g7 is also a glorious checkmate, like this. So, yeah. In any case, probably the most beautiful mate is this one. So I will leave this on before I call it a day. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for tonight. I hope that you enjoyed the streamerino. Please go and check out the YouTube content. I'm going to be back tomorrow with the collab with Anushka. Yes, Anlam, they have, but the g5 line is the most fun, as per my Chessable course, so... yeah. Alright, folks.